Hey guys, today's video is going to be another video on a Husqvarna 326LS. This is going to be the same for a 223 and several other models too. But I'm changing the carburetor on it. I keep having problems with this carburetor. This ain't the same weed eater that was in my other video, but this is another weed eater that was given to me. And the problem is it don't want to adjust in. It acts like something wrong with the diaphragm. And I was looking at the parts. You can get a carburetor kit for about $12 or $15, or you can pay $20, I think it was, for a whole new carburetor. So that's what I did in this case. And usually I try to rebuild them, but you know, sometimes you're better off just to replace them. But remove the air filter. You got several screws, Allen drive screws around here. And if yours isn't broke, you'll have to remove this one right here too. This is broke on this one. So let me get all these screws out here. Okay, so with all the screws removed in your plastic, now yours will probably have a cap right here over top of the spark plug. This one's missing. And you can remove all your plastic here. You gotta watch your choke lever because it'll get caught in there. It's easy to break at. And believe it or not, but that little blue piece is about $6 if you have to buy it. So just a little word of caution there. And you're probably thinking, well, you spent $20 on a carburetor. It's going to be some aftermarket junk. Well, believe it or not, it's an actual Zama, made in China, but it's still a Zama. The exact same thing it's on it. And you can see it's the exact same carburetor. So basically, you just got to transfer everything over. So go ahead and take the choke lever off here. Get that out of the way. You got two long bolts here that go through a plastic inlet tube here. And a few years ago, you wouldn't even consider buying a new carburetor for something like this because they used to be ridiculous what they cost, but now it's actually reasonable. And sometimes you're just better off. And like I said, sometimes the rebuild kit don't even work on them. I mean, it works on them, but it don't help them. Okay, so over here is your throttle cable. I'm going to go ahead and pop this one fuel line off here. Don't get your lines mixed up. This is the line coming from the primer bulb, and it hooks on this side. So now we can get it out of the way so we can get the throttle cable unhooked. You got one other line here, hooks in the bottom, which goes to the tank, and this is where your fuel filter is in this line. So here's your old carburetor, and you need to try to save this gasket on the back or order a new one. We'll try to save this one. It stayed intact, so we'll be able to reuse it. And I'm going to hang on to it because if I ever get a real good buy on a kit for it, I'll rebuild it and I'll have a spare carburetor. Now you're going to take your new carburetor and you want to make sure you put it on right, because simple as it sounds, it's easy to get these mixed up. See, this is your choke right here. You can recognize the end on it. This gasket goes on the other side. You want to go ahead and hook up the bottom fuel line first. You can do it later, but it's easier if you just go ahead and do it now. And don't forget the little clamp. They don't do much, but they're on there for a purpose. And we'll go ahead and get the throttle cable connected. You gotta make sure that cable goes in that little channel right there. If you don't, it won't work. Now I'm going to sandwich this gasket in back here and I'm going to line it up with the bolts when I get them through the holes here. Now, I'd recommend ordering a new gasket. I should have on this one, but to be honest about it, I forgot. But sometimes you can reuse them. Just got to be careful with them. And you want to get these fairly snug, but not super tight. They're easy to strip out anyway, and you don't want to crack this plastic piece on the front. So now I'm going to go ahead and hook up this other fuel line. This ain't exactly routed right, but we'll make sure everything works first before we make it look better. You want to make sure your throttle cable ain't hitting that fuel line right there. And on this side, your choke lever just slides up over. This one fits kind of loose. You see the linkages are working right. You give it full throttle, it releases it. Just like that. And then we'll get ready to put the plastic piece on here. Get all your screws put back in. Like I said, this one's missing one or two here. This is stripped out here and missing one on the bottom. So we'll just put in what we can for right now until I can figure out something like it. Main thing right now is just trying to get it running again. Okay, so I just put a little bit of gas in there. We're going to see if it's going to prime. Always like to prime a little extra on the, especially with the new carburetor, just to make sure there's no air or anything inside it. So now we're going to see if it's going to start up. I figure we'll have to adjust that carburetor, but you never know, maybe we won't. Well guys, it seems to be running. I figured I'd have to adjust it a little bit. And sometimes you can't adjust them a whole lot, but I got lucky on this one. It seems to be running pretty good now. So, well, if you got any questions or comments about replacing this carburetor or adjusting it, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.